Cloudy, overcast, rainy, some storms in downtown Phoenix today. So we're all buttoned up inside Chase Field. Roof and panels closed, D-backs and Rockies. And that may prove to be a blessing for Zack Greinke tonight against Trevor Story in a Colorado bunch that's hit at least 3 home runs in every game they've played here this year. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. Game 2 of 3, the D-backs and the Rockies. Chris Rush and the left-hander on the mound for Colorado. And for the Diamondbacks, it's Zack Greinke, Bob, who gave up 3 home runs against these guys on opening night.
Yeah, among the 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned against Zack Greinke in that opening day start. You know he wants to pay back this team. And with Zack, it's all about fastball command. If he can spot that fastball in and out, up and down, really sets up the rest of his pitches well. He had a streak of 3 pretty good starts between that opening day start and last time out against the Cardinals when he got banged around again.
Yeah, the long ball has bitten Zack Greinke in this ballpark. 3 against Colorado on opening night, and then 2 versus the Cardinals his last time out. Trevor Story has been, well, the real problem for the Diamondbacks pitching staff. He's got 6 career hits in this ballpark. 5 of them are home runs.
Yeah, you hope to learn a little bit more about Trevor Story every time you face him, and we saw him chase a lot of bad breaking balls in the dirt last night. We saw him chase some high fastballs out of the strike zone, but man, I mean, fastball, changeup, breaking ball, doesn't matter. If it's in the strike zone, this guy's going to put a good swing on it.
So here we go. It's the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, second of a 3-game series. Greinke for Arizona, Russin for Colorado. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run pizza at Oregano's. Locations statewide. And by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? Well, it's been a home run parade between these two so far this year. Conditions a little different tonight for Zack Greinke. Roof and panels closed. Rockies and Diamondbacks. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. A little stormy outside in downtown Phoenix this evening, so we are buttoned up inside Chase Field. Roof and panels closed. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, J.R. Cardenas along the way. Game 2 of a 3-game set. The Diamondbacks against Walt Weiss's Colorado Rockies, who must have, Bob, this place confused with Coors Field. The Rockies have hit at least 3 home runs in all 4 games they've played here at Chase Field this year.
Yeah, they certainly feel very comfortable playing here at Chase Field. Conditions vaguely similar to Coors Field. Here's how Walt Weiss will line them up tonight. Charlie Blackmon in center field. That guy, Trevor Story at shortstop. Carlos Gonzalez out in right field tonight. Nolan Arenado down at third base. Gerardo Parra, the former D-back, moves over to left field tonight. Mark Reynolds, another former D-back, at first base. Nick Hundley doing the catching. DJ LeMahieu at second base, and left-hander Chris Russin on the mound for the Rockies.
Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the D-backs, it's Zack Greinke. No pitcher in baseball has allowed more hits this season than Zack Greinke. 5 of them have been home runs, all 5 in this ballpark, including 3 by these Rockies here on opening day.
Yeah, I mentioned that first start against the Rockies opening day, not very good. His last time out against the Cardinals, not very good. But in between, he was okay. Did well against that strong Cubs team. Gave up 7 hits in 6 innings. Padres and Giants wedged in there in between, and those 3 starts in the middle, he did not allow a home run. Hopefully that's what we'll see here tonight with the roof and panels closed.
The defense behind him, our Eye on Defense, is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Tomas, Owings, and Peralta once again across the outfield. Brandon Drury at third. Nick Ahmed returns to the lineup at shortstop. Gene Segura slides back to second base. Paul Goldschmidt over at first. Wellington Castillo doing the catching for right-hander Zack Greinke.
Toby Basner, our plate umpire tonight. Last season, the Diamondbacks were 8-2 versus the Rockies here at Chase Field. Trying to get that trend going again after losing last night's series opener 9-0. And Charlie Blackmon set to lead it off for Colorado.
This is already the 8th time this season the Diamondbacks have faced a left-handed starting pitcher. Record is 3-4 against those left-handed starters. They've hit over 300. 15 of their 36 homers have come against left-handed pitching. And
it's been a bunch in a short little time period here lately. It's been tough to get Jake Lamb and David Peralta in there consistently. But Blackmon will lead it off at 226, still looking for his first home run this year. And we are underway on a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix with ball one.
Zach Greinke wanted that first pitch already. Wellington Castillo was ever so slightly moved out on that outside corner, and he dotted the glove, but they did not get the call from Toby Basner. And Greinke showed his reaction out there on the mound after one pitch.
Advantage for Zach to have everything closed up tonight?
Well, that's the conventional wisdom among pitchers that you talk to that have pitched in this ballpark for any amount of time. Roof open, panels open, you get some wind currents in here like we felt last night, and the ball just seems to carry a lot better when it's opened up.
Well, he's ahead of Blackmon now, a ball and 2 strikes. Activated from the DL prior to last night's game. He'd been out with a turf toe injury in his left foot. And Zach Greinke, all business to start this one out. He strikes out Blackmon. Time now for our Valley Honda key to the game.
Well, you got to definitely avoid the long ball. We mentioned it. Perhaps the roof and panels being closed would help, but I think good location on the fastball would go a long way toward keeping the ball in the park tonight.
And you've got to be very careful with this young man. Trevor Story, 253, tied with Nolan Arenado, who's coming up in the cleanup spot tonight for the major league home run lead. Story hit his 10th of the season here last night off Robbie Ray. He also singled and walked. He has hit a home run in every game he's played in this ballpark. Missed away there, 1-0. Trevor Story's 6 career hits here at Chase Field. 5 of them are home runs. Breaking balls in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
I mentioned the Story chased some bad breaking pitches in the dirt last night. He also knee buckled on a couple of breaking balls that started right at him and broke over the inside corner.
Well, he got his 10th home run last night. It came in his 21st major league game. That tied him with the boomer George Scott. There he is, as the fastest players in baseball history to get to 10 home runs. The late great George Scott, a Red Sox rookie in '66. It's been that long since a rookie had this type of start to his major league career. 2-2 now. 10 homers in his first 21 career games. That's pretty good.
Whoa. He's punched out a bunch as well. He will swing and miss with the best of them, but when he does make contact, he tends to put a charge on.
He is leading the National League in strikeouts. 2-2 from Zach Greinke. And him out in front just did get a piece. The home runs off Greinke opening day.
3-run homer out away from him. He drove it to the opposite field. That was pretty impressive for a young player, showing the opposite field power. And then a pitch down. He's kind of scooped it. That's the term of the week. Scooped it out of here to left field. He did make 4 outs opening day, including a couple of strikeouts, but 2 long home runs.
Only the 6th player in baseball history to hit 2 home runs in his major league debut. Full count, 3-2. Got him. Zach Greinke opens up with a pair of strikeouts, and now he'll work to Carlos Gonzalez.
Good slider that time. Started it right on that outside corner at the knees. Looked like Story was going to have to protect against it, and it just dipped right out of the zone.
We didn't see Cargo last night. He had the night off against the lefty Robbie Ray. The Diamondbacks will put the shift on here for Gonzalez, who steps in at 310. He's got 4 home runs. He homered here opening day. Brandon Drury playing third base tonight, but he got the start last night at second base, and that's essentially where he is right now as the third baseman with the shift on for Cargo. And Greinke get the side. Here's a little flare left center. Tomas, it'll drop in front for a base hit. 2-out single for Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, that's the unfortunate byproduct of the Diamondbacks playing their outfielders a little extra deep. Certainly understandable with Chris Owings, a guy that hasn't played much outfield, feels more comfortable coming in. Same thing for Yasmani Tomas in left. And because they were playing deep, a little floater like that's able to drop in.
Yeah, that's a Coors Field type hit.
Yep.
See those all the time with that big outfield. So Cargo at first, 2 down for Arenado, who is tied with Trevor Story for the Major League home run lead. He's hitting .287. He has homered in 3 straight games, including last night. A solo shot off Robbie Ray in the 5th inning last night as he and Story went back to back. D-backs have the shift on now for Arenado. They overload the left-hand side. Breaking ball is in there for strike 1. There's a look at Gene Segura, the second baseman on the shortstop side of the bag.
Yeah, I mentioned Zach Greinke was upset with the call on the very first pitch of the game. I think he's using that to his advantage, pitching with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder here in the first inning.
See that it worked for Ruby De La Rosa the other night, that's
sure
for sure.
Did.
Toby Basner behind the plate. That one tied up Arenado, and yes, he went, says Jordan Baker down there. 1-2.
Nasty two-seam fastball this time, dive bombing down and in. Arenado realized that was a bat breaker, tried to check his swing. It is rung up on appeal.
Able to check his swing, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Greinke has won his 2 previous starts, outstanding against the Giants in San Francisco, and 7 runs allowed on 11 hits, including 2 homers his last time out. That was Monday here against the Cardinals, but he got plenty of run support to get the win. Two and 2. Base hit for Arenado. Cargo stops at second. A pair of 2-out singles for the Rockies brings up Gerardo Parra.
That was nearly the same pitch that Arenado checked his swing on earlier in the sequence. This time just drops the head of the bat, catches it out in front, and past Brandon Drury into left field for a 2-out base hit.
Gonzalez at second, Arenado at first. Gerardo Parra, 292. He's homered twice. Had a home run Wednesday at Coors Field against the Pirates. And his bat has really been heating up lately. A pair of RBI doubles last night.
Yeah, good numbers against Zach Greinke. Not many guys can say that, but Gerardo Parra 9 for 29 lifetime.
Ball 1. Parra has hit safely in 5 straight games, 8 of his last 9. And during that span, he's got 10 RBIs. Bounced over the mound. Segura. Ahmed.
Who's got it?
Little 3-man weave there. It works out. They strand the 2-out singles. The middle infield of the Diamondbacks. Oh, Nick got right in front of him at the last moment. Nicely done. D-backs coming up. Starting pitcher for the Rockies. First start this year for the 29-year-old lefty. It's Chris Russin, your Arizona Ford starter. The Rockies have had to shuffle their rotation a bit. Russin made 22 starts for Colorado last season, but has pitched only in relief so far this year, and he's done pretty well.
Done a nice job pitching out of the bullpen for Walt Weiss. He for a couple of different fastballs, a two-seamer and a cutter that he relies on heavily. His best secondary pitch is a straight changeup. He also throws an occasional curveball.
Russin has not been scored on in his last 9 2/3 innings. His last 3 appearances have all been scoreless. 4 innings of 2-hit relief at Cincinnati. He last pitched Sunday at Coors Field against the Dodgers. Worked 3 1/3 scoreless innings of long relief. Gene Segura, the major league's hits leader, leads it off for the Diamondbacks.
Russin, another guy that my son Michael played with in the Cubs organization coming up, and even at the minor league level, he was real willing to pitch right-handers inside, cut that fastball right in on their knuckles.
Stays away, but misses with Segura 1-0. Gene at .336, he's got 4 home runs. Right at the knees for strike 1.
Yeah, you see the velocity 89 on that fastball. He'll occasionally touch 90, 91, but overpowering opposing hitters is not really his forte. He's got to hit his spots. He's got to move the ball around the zone.
Rockies have had to move their starting pitching around this week. They lost Jorge De La Rosa to a strained left groin. De La Rosa went on the DL Wednesday. Eddie Butler called up from AAA Albuquerque. He's there for some length in that bullpen. They've got Christian Bergman back there as well, but he's pitched a lot lately. So Russin gets the start here tonight. 2-2 on Segura.
You mentioned 22 starts for Russin last year for the Rockies. 13 of those were quality starts. He actually surprisingly pitched pretty well. A guy that they didn't really know what to expect. They had him slotted in that bullpen. He had been a starter throughout his minor league career, as I mentioned, with the Chicago Cubs.
Now in his second season in Colorado, after 3 years with the Cubs, they waived him near the end of the 2014 season. It's there, and it's full count 3-2. Segura has worked it full to lead off the ball game. Chip Hale was talking about that the other day. Said Segura's taken a lot more pitches than he thought he was going to. His at bats not usually 1-pitch, 2-pitch at bats. He'll get deeper in counts than Chip thought he was going to get. But Russin strikes him out to open up the bottom of the first.
He drew a walk in the 6th inning last night, but here he chases what appeared to be ball 4 in the dirt for the first out of the bottom half of the first inning.
The lineup he'll face tonight.
Seen Segura at the top at second base, Brandon Drury at third, Paul Goldschmidt over at first, Yasmani Tomas in left with Wellington Castillo behind the plate, David Peralta in right, Chris Owings in center, Zach Greinke the pitcher batting 8th, and Nick Ahmed playing shortstop batting 9th.
Brandon Drury, 297. He's got 3 home runs. Drury started at second base last night, went 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. He's in there at third tonight. Jake Lamb has the night off against the left-hander Russin. 2-0.
Russin pitching from that far third base side of the rubber out there. I mentioned he likes to cut the ball in on the right-handed hitters and works as far over on that third base side of the rubber as he possibly can.
Yeah, he is way over there.
Geometry wasn't one of my favorite subjects in high school, but you know, the figure moving back and forth on that rubber creates more of an angle on your pitches depending on what side of the plate you're throwing to. Is it a right-handed hitter? Is it a left-handed hitter? But I'm sure this is by trial and error. Chris Russin, many innings, many pitches out there, and this is what works best for him.
Well, it's working well so far. 2 strikeouts, and now Goldie comes up. But first, it's our Eye on Defense for the Rockies, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Left to right across the outfield, Gerardo Parra, Charlie Blackmon, and Carlos Gonzalez. Left third to first across the infield, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, DJ LeMahieu, and Mark Reynolds. I've heard that Nick Hundley went to the U of A.
Rumor has it.
Yeah, he's behind the plate for left-hander Chris Russin.
Here's right-hander Paul Goldschmidt, 235 and 6 home runs. Goldie's last 3 hits have been homers when he gets a pitch to hit. He walked twice and struck out last night. Leading the major leagues in walks. In fact, Paul this year has more walks than hits. He's got 25 bases on balls, 19 hits. He's also walked more than he struck out this year. Russin ahead 1-2. And he strikes out the side. Segura, Drury, Goldie go down swinging. No score after 1 here at Chase. Second inning here at Chase Field, and in the crowd today enjoying this D-backs ball game, 7,000 employees from Amazon. Chase Field, after all, it's the perfect place to host your employee outing. Enjoy ticket discounts, concession credit, your business name on the scoreboard, a whole lot more. Your group today, get them involved, get them out here. We'll make room, we'll treat you like kings. Visit dbacks.com/groups. 9,000 Amazon people. They had an extra 2,000 showed up. They heard it was good. So we're glad to have them here with us this evening. Mark Reynolds leads off the Colorado second against Zach Greinke. Fly ball deep to center. Chris Owings will have to play it off the wall. Deepest part of the ballpark. It rolls over to Peralta. Reynolds will stop at second. He's got his 7th double. Boy, that one hung up there a long time.
Diamondbacks had actually done a nice job against Mark Reynolds this year. Held him to a 2 for 13 before this drive to straightaway center field. With the angles out there, that's why corner outfielders, even on a ball hit to center field, you need to get yourself over there in a position where if that ball takes an odd ricochet off the wall, you're right there to be able to back up the play.
Third hit for the Rockies against Zach Greinke. Here's the catcher, Nick Hundley. Just under 280 with a pair of home runs. He homered and doubled here last night, drove in 3. Chip Hale this week was very honest when he said that he doesn't believe the Diamondbacks can accomplish the goals they've set for themselves as a team, which he said are very lofty, if Zack Greinke and Shelby Miller don't pitch as anticipated. Pretty evident. And Chip said the Diamondbacks just have to be better there. And those two guys are going to be counted on to pitch very well. So this weekend, with Zack pitching today and Shelby tomorrow at home, where they both struggled against this Rockies team, which has been a problem, could be a very big litmus test here to close out this homestand before a long road trip. It's a big weekend for these guys.
It really is, and the end of a really tough grind to start the season in the month of April. Playing a lot of potential playoff teams, a lot of very good hitters.
Well, a double by Reynolds has opened up the inning. Now he's behind on Hundley, 3 balls and 1 strike with DJ LeMahieu on deck.
You need your 2 big boys, and throw Patrick Corbin in there in that 3 spot in the rotation. You need those guys to start eating up some innings, bring some sanity back to the game. We know what this offense is capable of doing if you just give them an opportunity, keep it close.
A double and a walk open up the Colorado second. And Chip said he thinks Zack Greinke's frustrated that he's not pitching better here. And he said that's probably a good thing, because the Diamondbacks are certainly not going to evaluate Zack on 5 starts. They'll just let him get settled down, get used to pitching in this ballpark, where he's, for the most part, always pitched very well. He's never had any trouble pitching at Chase Field before. In fact, as a Dodger here, he just dominated with Los Angeles at Chase Field. Greinke was 6-0 in 6 starts with a 0.65 ERA. So the idea that he can't pitch in this ballpark just frankly doesn't hold any water. 2 on, nobody out for LeMahieu. Greinke's got it. The Gold Glove goes top shelf. On it for 1, and they turn 2.
Play snares that ball, bouncing over his head. Quick feed to Nick Ahmed. Very easy double play that time. DJ LeMahieu's the guy that's given the Diamondbacks a lot of problems over the last couple of years, but double play that time, possibly bailing Greinke out of what appeared to be a rough inning.
And Nick did a great job to really go down there and get that ball, come up throwing. That was a low throw from Greinke. So Reynolds is at third now, quickly 2 down. Here's the pitcher, Chris Russin.
The early part of the ball game has been problematic for Zack Greinke this year. Last season, the entire year, he gave up 21 runs in the first 3 innings of a ball game. This year, he's already given up 12. 18 extra base hits all season last year in innings 1, 2, and 3. 9 already this season.
So far tonight, 2 singles, a double, and a base on balls. One and 2. There's been a bunch of those with Greinke this year. The type of pitch that we just saw, where he's a strike away, you're going to go back in the dugout, and somehow the guy up there, whether he hits 300 or a $150, just gets a little piece of it, and things continue, and then something goes south for him, and before you know it, the scoreboard's lighting up.
Yep.
They got him. A double and a walk lead off the inning, but Greinke gets the double play and the strikeout to keep it scoreless.
Presented by Geico. This date in Major League Baseball history going back to 2000. Randy Johnson beat the Cubbies 6-0 that day to become the third pitcher in Major League Baseball history to win 6 games in the month of April. The other two were Vida Blue and Dave Stewart.
I thought you were going to say Chuck Drago.
Chuck only won 5.
There's Chuck, the voice of Chase Field, just to the right. And there's Stu working the phone as always, the GM. Talk about a big game pitcher. Holy cow.
We've been talking a lot about attitude on the mound with Ruby De La Rosa and Robbie Ray. Man, Stu could bring some attitude now.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He had one of the most intimidating glares. He had the bill of his cap pulled down low over his eyes, just stare down at the hitter in there. Couldn't have been a comfortable feeling. Yasmani Tomas will lead off the Diamondbacks second. After Chris Rustin struck out the side in the first, he got Segura, Drury, and Goldie. Yasmani in there at 286. He's got 5 home runs.
Yasmani Tomas has done some damage against lefties. You can see the defensive alignment by the Rockies out there. Charlie Blackmon playing over into the gap in right center. Gerardo Parra well off the line out there and left a lot of room. And as I mentioned, Rustin was not overpowering. This is a guy that Yasmani Tomas and the rest of the right-handed hitters in this Diamondbacks lineup figured to pull the ball against.
.423 against lefties this year for Yasmani. Slugging about .850 against left-handers.
Yeah, 3 homers and a couple of doubles among his 11 base hits.
He's ahead 3-0. On base twice last night. He singled and walked. Missed at the belt. A 4-pitch walk to Tomas. First D-backs base runner today. Good at bat there by Yasmani. Nice to see him be patient.
Number 7, Wellington Castillo.
Seen a little bit more of that from Yasmani, it seems, Bob, lately. He's taking more and more walks. It's a slow progression, but he's getting there.
Yeah, he'll occasionally regress and go up there and swing at the first 3 pitches he sees in an at-bat, but we've seen more patient at-bats from Yasmani. Just a matter of time, getting a little more comfortable, a little more confident hitting with 2 strikes.
Wellington Castillo single last night. He was 1 for 4.
Sure, Wellington Castillo caught Chris Russin at one point in their Cubs career in the minor leagues.
We like to call it the Michael Brenly tree. You know how there's coaching trees? Now that he's a coach and all. Sort of coach.
Sort of.
Bullpen catcher.
Kind of, sort of.
Advisor.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but you know, it was just a turnover in the front office for the Chicago Cubs, and a lot of guys that were holdovers from the previous regime were shown the exit door. Some via trade, some just were straight released. Other guys bounced from team to team before finding their comfort zone. A guy like DJ LeMahieu, boy, has he found a good fit here in Colorado.
1-1 on Wellington Castillo. Coming in the radio booth. Oh, it just missed Mike Farron over there. Steve Gilbert ducking under the table in the press box after he threw Nick Pecoro under the bus last night.
Russin missed his spot badly that time. Nick Hundley had moved inside under the hands of Wellington Castillo, expecting that cutter to run in on the right-handed hitter, and it just stayed up and out over the plate.
Got Beef Wellington at the plate. And how about this? Calais Campbell in the house. He's visiting our booth. There's Calais and the wife, Cindy, watching the game tonight. Always great to have Calais with us. Well, that defensive line. Oh, boy. That's a scary group they put together there.
Yes, indeed. It's always good to have Calais here because our usual security here in the booth is shady at best.
Yeah, people get in all the time.
Yeah.
We need somebody to watch the door and make sure the right people get in. That velvet rope outside, nobody pays attention. 2-2. Called strike three. That's 4 strikeouts through the first 5 batters for Chris Russin.
A little better job of hitting a spot that time. Once again, Nick Hundley moves inside. That cutter right there on the inside corner.
David Peralta getting the start against the lefty tonight. David at .265 and 2 homers. David singled in the ball game last night. Trevor Story, the shortstop, right behind the second base bag, so they shade Peralta over toward the right-hand side. And David, this year 6 for 26 against left-hand pitching, 3 extra base hits, including a home run. So that's a .231 average versus lefties. He hit .250 against left-handers last year. So he continues to improve against pitching from the left-hand side. Those extra base hits against lefties are a real good sign. But he's down 0-2.
And certain lefties will give David Peralta and other left-handed hitters more trouble than others. Russin doesn't throw a lot of breaking pitches. He will throw that big curveball to a left-handed hitter, but he's mostly going to challenge with fastballs, 2-seamers and cutters.
Oh, 2, 1 out to Loss at first.
Well, that's a nice stop by Nick Hundley right there. That ball was spiked well out in front of home plate. Never quite sure where it's going to bounce. Right on the logo on the front of his chest protector right there. Couldn't do it any better.
David Peralta said this spring the D-backs this year will be like a freight train. He wants them, in his words, just to keep steaming along nonstop. Got to keep chugging. So it's time to get this thing going. 2 more here against the Rockies before a long road trip. Miami, Atlanta, and Colorado next week. Rolls it the other way. Arenado will get the double play started, but Peralta beats it out. That's 5-6 on the force out of Tomas at second, 2 down.
Center fielder, number 16.
It's one of the byproducts of that exaggerated pull shift. You get some awkward looking double play attempts when the guy happens to hit the ball to the other side. That time Nolan Arenado, the only defender on the left side of the infield. Trevor Story coming at the bag at second from an angle he's not accustomed to. This didn't look real smooth.
Peralta, the runner at first, 2 down. The red hot Chris Owings, he's up to 294. CO has raised that batting average 100 points since the middle of this month. And Chris had a couple of doubles last night. He's really hitting the ball well right now. Just under 360 over his last dozen games.
Could have easily had 3 doubles or maybe 2 doubles and a triple. It took a nice play by Charlie Blackmon to run down a line drive in the gap in right center.
He's starting to find those gaps like he did when he first came up here before the shoulder injury. That's the guy who had a big season in AAA 3 years ago, hit .330 at Reno. He was Pacific Coast League MVP, in fact. Everything down the lines, in the gaps. Very good numbers against the Rockies. 2-0. The pitcher Zach Greinke, batting 8th tonight, is on deck.
Taking his warm-up swings left-handed.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, just
pitchers, right?
Yeah, messing around. Now he takes some right-handed hacks.
Three 3-0. CO not getting much to hit up here with the pitcher on deck. But after all, we know that Zach Greinke can swing the bat. Right-handed or left-handed, maybe.
All right, and we know Chip Hale likes to turn his guys loose 3-0.
Get that freight train started down there, maybe. Let Chris have a hack at a 3-0 fastball or something here. Peralta holds. Owings takes strike 1. D-backs trying to get the offense going. 96 extra base hits. That's tops in the major leagues. And we've got a gettable Rockies pitching staff this weekend. A big ballpark. Time to start finding some of those gaps after last night when they had only 5 hits. 3 of them singles. The only extra base hits last night. CO's 2 doubles. 3-2 pitch. And in the seats.
One of the issues when the Diamondbacks offense has struggled is bunching their hits together. You may get a leadoff double and then 3 quick outs. Or you may have 2 quick outs to start the inning and then a double. It'd be nice to put about 4 or 5 of those extra base hits together in 1 inning.
We saw that Monday against the Cardinals. I think it was pretty much the only time we've really seen that. Where the Diamondbacks got some big innings. 9-run 6th inning against St. Louis Monday. There goes Peralta. That's ball 4. It's off the glove of Hundley, and David's going to head for third here. He is in there. There's a free 90 feet. The freight train.
I'll tell you, I love it. You know, a 3-2 count, 2 outs in the inning. You see so many runners at first base just turn and start jogging towards second. Look at David. He's got his head down, running hard. He saw the ball get away from Hundley. Hundley wasn't quick to get after it. David just kept on motoring around second, easily into third.
There he goes. That's why we call him the freight train right there. Like a big runaway train around the bases, full speed, or full steam in this case, I guess. So that's a walk and a pass ball. Puts Peralta at third. Owings at first. 2 outs. Here's Greinke. Boy, it'd be nice if he could just shoot one through the infield here. Get a 2-out RBI.
Boy, his last start against the Cardinals, they perfectly executed what we used to call a butcher boy. Show bunt, draw the third baseman in, and then take a little short, quick, abbreviated swing and hit it right past him.
On the ground, right to Story. They go the short way for the force on Owings, and that ends the inning. We'll head to the third. No score, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. As we start the third, D-backs and Rockies here at Chase Field. Something to smile about, brought to you by Cricket Wireless. The second inning. Look at this. Zach Greinke starts the 1-6-3 double play, and a nice turn by Nick Ahmed at shortstop.
Nick making like a catcher out there on the bag at second. Goes down into a full squat to field that low throw, but plenty on his relay onto Goldie to complete that double play.
The Rockies so far, 3 hits and a walk against Greinke, 2 singles, a double. And he'll face Charlie Blackmon, the leadoff man, to lead off the third. Blackmon struck out his first time up. Charlie Blackmon, always a tough out, it seems, for the Diamondbacks. Hit over 340 versus Arizona last season, a career 343 hitter in 55 games versus the Diamondbacks. So that is about as big a sample size as you'll find. Always good to have Calais Campbell visit our booth. He's out looking for quarterbacks right now. Off the fist, little dunk shot, and it drops in front of Tomas.
Yeah, he's pretty fired up over the draft. Very excited to get started and get after it again.
That's quite a defensive line they're putting together for the Cardinals. That's going to be a fun group to watch. Trevor Story, here he comes. He struck out his first time up against Zach Greinke. And Story a chance tonight to break a major league record. His home run last night tied him with the White Sox Jose Abreu for the most home runs in April by a major league rookie. It's 10. Back in time is Blackmon, says Jordan Baker down there. And of course, tomorrow is May 1st, so Story has one chance to break that major league record tonight. There he is, tied with Jose Abreu, who 2 years ago the White Sox hit 10 home runs in April.
Boy, Zach Greinke broke out the kitchen sink in Story's first at bat in this ball game. Threw 7 pitches, 2 fastballs, 2 curveballs, 2 sliders, and a changeup.
Zach is not happy with something out there. Been walking around the mound. He wants Ahmed to move over a little bit. And he wants Drury backed up at third. So now we're set to go. Fly ball left center. It stays in the yard. It rolls to the wall. Blackman's going to come home and score. And Trevor Story has an RBI double. It's 1-0 Rockies. His 4th double.
Appeared to be a strike breaking ball. We talked about it earlier in the show. That one at 85, up a little bit in the strike zone. Probably fortunate that one stayed in the ballpark right there. That's the kind of off-speed pitch that Trevor Story has been scooping out of here to left field against the Diamondbacks all season long.
Five hits for the Rockies. Here's Carlos Gonzalez, who singled his first time up. Carlos Gonzalez has never been a guy who uses the whole field. Historically, his hit data shows he doesn't really go to left field very often at all. And so the Diamondbacks have the shift on again. They overload the right-hand side. And last year, teams would shift against him. He would hit the ball hard right into it. He got a little frustrated, kind of got in his head, he admitted. But now he doesn't worry about it. He just, look, I pull the ball. That's what I do. I'm going to stick with my approach.
If he hits a ground ball to the left side, it's an accident. I mean, we've seen David Peralta try to hit the ball that direction. We've seen Jake Lamb try to beat that shift, hitting to the left side. Forget it. Cargo's not going to try to hit that ball to the left side. Now, on a 2-strike count, if he gets fooled by a pitch or has to protect the plate, he might squirt one over that way, but he doesn't want to hit the ball to the left side.
He admitted last year against these shifts he did try to do too much. He said the more you think about it, the more it gets to you. So he's just sort of given up, in a sense that he'll just try and hit it really hard into the shift and try and be aggressive with it that way.
Well, when Carlos Gonzalez is right at the plate, when he's swinging the bat the way he's capable of, he just hits it over everybody. Cool. You could put every defender on the right side of the field and he'll just hit it over all their heads.
All players have hot streaks, but when he gets on a hot streak, he's almost impossible to get out. And the numbers for a 2-week stretch can be staggering. Gets him on the breaking ball. 4th strikeout for Greinke.
Good weapon right there. Took a little bit off that curveball, a little bit more of a roller, but it acts as a changeup. Gets Gonzalez out in front.
The dangerous Nolan Arenado, who singled in his first at bat. And now the shift will move again to the other side of the field for the Diamondbacks. Trevor Story, the runner at second, a run in. And an RBI opportunity here for Nolan Arenado. And since the start of last season, no player in baseball has more RBIs than the Rockies' third baseman. And Greinke, after the opening day start here, was talking about how to pitch to this guy. And he said the toughest part of pitching to Arenado is that he can hit every pitch in every location. There's not many guys, Greinke say, that can do that.
We saw that in his first at bat of the ball game when he singled into left field. You may remember earlier in the sequence he checked his swing on a hard 2-seamer down and in. Greinke tried to go back to it again, and he was ready for it, got the barrel on it, kept it fair into left field.
You've seen a lot, of course, of Nolan Arenado over the previous 3 seasons being an LA Dodger. Greinke said earlier in his career, Arenado, when he first came up, it seemed like he hit more ground balls, but now it seems like he figured out how to hit more balls in the air and not strike out. So he's hitting more line drives, Greinke says, more fly balls. And with his power and not striking out so much, Zach says that's about as good as it gets. This is as tough a hitter as he'll face, he says.
And playing 81 games a year at Coors Field.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt a thing. Yeah, if you're a ground ball hitter and you play at Coors,
you're in the wrong park.
You need to get in the cage. You need to work on some mechanical issues to get that ball in the air more often.
And Arenado is always up there hunting pitches to hit. He is not a patient hitter at all. A very aggressive swinger up there. But as Greinke said, he can get to just about any pitch anywhere. So it works for him. 1-2. Got him. 5 strikeouts for Greinke. 2 down in the 3rd.
Well, against this Rockies offense, the ability to locate your off-speed pitches, I think, is really going to serve Zach Greinke well tonight. That time a slider in the dirt off the plate, low and away. I mean, they can hit breaking ball strikes, but very aggressive swingers will chase that breaking ball even if it's not in the strike zone.
Seems like we're seeing, Bob, more swings and misses by the opponent versus Greinke than we've seen this year. He seems to have him a little more off balance than he has so far.
I think a lot of that has to do with the 2 seamers he's thrown inside to the righties the first time through this Rockies lineup, making them aware that he will come in there with some movement and then going right back away with the slider, the big slow curveball. Mixed in a couple of change-ups here and there.
Parra fouls that one right behind EY Sr. I guess to get the right mix of pitches takes a while for any pitcher. Figuring out what's working for you lately, what's not. What works against the opposition and how to come up with the right formula. A little flare. Tomas, that'll drop in front. Story will come in. Here's the throw. And it is not in time. An RBI for Parra, 2-0 Rockies. And again, the Rockies drop one right in front of a Diamondback outfielder playing back. It's been a little bit of a dink and dunk deal here.
Yeah, I don't think you really need to play extremely deep for Gerardo Parra in left. He doesn't usually drive the ball to the opposite field, but this one dunks in front of Tomas. Story around the bag at third by the time Tomas got to it. No chance for a play at the plate.
Single and an RBI. Parra takes second on the throw, and it's 2-0 Colorado. Mark Reynolds smashed a double to right center field his first time up. Jumped on the first pitch.
And he's likely to do it again if the pitch is in the strike zone or close to the strike zone. Very aggressive hitter.
And look at Parra take off. Trying to get a little sneaky. Greinke kept a cool head and they get him out at third. But the Rockies get 2 runs. Diamondbacks coming up.
Third, Diamondbacks will try to answer here in the bottom of the inning. Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
I'll tell you what, Bob, Gerardo Parra was always a fan favorite here, and for very good reason, but considering that Mark Reynolds just scorched a double his first time up, you can't get yourself thrown out there in scoring position to win the inning.
That's one of the cardinal rules of baseball. You don't make the first or last out of the inning at third base. You have to be 100% sure you can sneak in there. But Zack Greinke very calmly and coolly just stepped off the rubber, threw over to Brandon Drury for the easy out at third.
Well, the Rockies get 2 runs in that third inning. They've got 6 hits so far. Diamondbacks still looking for their first base hit against Chris Rusin. And here's Nick Ahmed at 190 and 3 homers, batting 9th tonight. And Nick got a day off, as Chip Hale likes to do, to just watch the ball game last night. Nick, over his last dozen games, 3 for 39 up there. And he's fighting it a bit right now. And the skid comes right on the heels of a 5-game hitting streak, during which he homered twice, both at Dodger Stadium. But since then, 3 for 39.
Well, a lot of offensive players look to the Rockies pitching staff to get healthy, and Nick may be one of those guys. His last 5 starts against the Rockies, he's had multi-hit games in all 5, going 11 for 20.
Yeah, there you go. 351 career hitter against Colorado. And Chip said he wanted to give Nick a day yesterday, so Ahmed did not play. And he said he thinks Nick has been pressing a little bit, just has to dial it back. He's been doing a lot of extra work in the cage with hitting coach Dave Magadan. A lot of video work as well. This is bounced right to LeMahieu at second. Double clutch there for DJ, but he throws him out.
You know, a lot of times when a hitter is scuffling, it really comes down to the simplest of basics: pitch selection. Look at a 3-1 count there for Nick Ahmed. You need to get a ball you can drive. You don't want to hit a 4-hopper to the second baseman when the count's in your favor, 3-1. Even if you end up taking a pitcher's strike, he still has to come back in that zone on the 3-2 pitch.
Gene Segura struck out his first time up. And he bounces this one again to LeMahieu. 2 outs. Brings up Brandon Drury.
Third baseman, Brandon Drury.
Brandon a strikeout victim. Rusin got the side in order in the first. Segura, Drury, Goldie. But this has been one of the hottest bats in the Diamondbacks lineup lately. He's been in there just about every night so far over the last week or so. Brandon last 11 games hitting nearly 360 with 9 extra base hits. Playing third base, second base, left field, right field.
That was the first 1 pitch at bat for a Diamondback hitter in this game. They've been doing a pretty nice job of running up a pitch count on Chris Rusin. They've had 2 7-pitch at bats, a 6-pitch at bat, 3 5-pitch at bats. Segura chasing the first pitch he saw, grounding out to second base.
Another tapper. Arenado in at third. That's where base hits go to die. Rusin has worked 3 hitless innings. He's got a 2-0 lead. 2-0 fourth inning. There's Brandon Webb, his sign here at the ballpark, and there he was earlier today at the Cox Solution Store. Webby signing baseballs for folks who stop by the Cox Solution Store. Bobbleheads, you name it. Take pictures. Nice job, Webby, out there.
Really
The
nice,
Fox
really
Sports
nice.
Arizona Fan Express. There they are.
Was Webby driving the bus?
By the way, why haven't we put that together yet? We should have shots of all the players driving that thing.
There you go.
Get Peralta on there. All those guys. Reynolds, who was batting when Parra was thrown out to end the third, is up there to lead off the fourth. But a nice job by Brandon Webb aboard the Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express. Webby's had a busy weekend.
Yes, he has. It was chaos out there. I mean, they needed crowd control.
It's like the Beatles got back together.
Had to borrow our velvet ropes outside the booth to keep
That's
the
what
fans
happened.
in line.
I wondered where they went. Oh, 2 on Reynolds. Zach Greinke so far has given up 2 runs on 6 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 5. A lot of pitches from Zach have been up so far. Reaches down and lifts this to short left center. They got it surrounded, and what a catch by Segura. The running backhander, Gene Segura, go get it. The shift was on, and Segura, the second baseman, makes that catch in left center field. That's a Chaz Roberts cool play of the game.
Diamondbacks had too many defenders in the vicinity. Gene Segura actually pushes off Nick Ahmed just to get to that ball. Tomas is there. Chris Owings comes streaking into the picture.
Looks like they're running the wishbone offense out there.
Boy, what great concentration by Segura to stay on that ball. Threw an elbow into Nick, but that's all right.
Nick Hundley walked in his first plate appearance. Had a home run and a double here last night. And he went to U of A.
I heard that.
Breaking ball drops in there for strike 1.
You know, I talk a lot about pop-up priorities, and teams drill every spring on pop-up priority drills. If the ball's hit here, who's responsible for it, and you call him off and you call that guy off. That was one of those pop-ups right there. Just everybody chase it. Somebody try to catch it.
There's a little tapper to third. Drury double clutch, but he throws him out. 2 down. Little hesitation from Brandon on that one. He had time and he knew it.
Second baseman,
DJ LeMahieu hit into that 1-6-3 double play that Greinke got started back in the second inning. He is hitless in the series so far. Has been dealing with a nagging groin injury. DJ LeMahieu had to sit out a couple of games about 10 days ago. Both of LeMahieu's homers came here at Chase Field in the opening series of the season. That's the strike call away. 1-1. Zach Greinke so far 53 pitches, 37 strikes. And to labor a bit in that first. Struck out the first 2 he faced, then gave up a pair of singles before Parra grounded out to end the inning. Breaking ball hung there, and LeMahieu knocks it into left center. Owens over there to cut her off, and DJ LeMahieu cruises into second with a 2-out double, his 5th this year. Again, it's up.
Yep. Just dips down below belt level. LeMahieu intercepts it, lines it into that gap in left center field. That same pitch bouncing off of home plate, you probably get a swing and a miss.
Chris Russin, the pitcher now, struck out in his first at bat. LeMahieu at second, 2 down. 7th hit for the Rockies. 3 of them doubles.
Now this can be problematic timing wise for a pitcher like Zack Greinke that has a 4-pitch mix out there on the mound. He likes to use all 4 pitches, even to the opposing pitcher. And with a runner at second, Wellington Castillo has to go through a series of signs, and if Zack Greinke shakes off, you end up just hanging finger after finger back there. Eventually the pitcher will step off or the batter will step out. Got the right one that time. We talked about this in past telecasts. Back in the day, pitchers used to just add or subtract. The catcher hangs down a sign for 1 fastball. No, I don't want to throw a 1, so I'll add 1. I'll rub my glove above the belt. That adds 1. I want to throw a curve. Or you go below the belt to subtract. Ways just to speed it up a little bit so the catcher doesn't have to stand back there and hang down signs all day.
Segura throws out Russin. Greinke strands the 2-out double. He keeps it a 2-0 ball game. Home half of the 4th coming up. Fans follow Arizona Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, the whole thing. Just download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. So far, Rockies left-hander Chris Russin in his first start this year has kept the Diamondbacks hitless. Bob, what's he doing right here?
Inducing weak contact. Jam shot there by David Peralta. A little weak grounder to the left side. A 3-1 count. Nick grounds the ball to the right side. A big breaking ball that time to Gene Segura. Another little topper, 2-hopper. Brandon Drury reaching out of the zone. Soft contact off the end of the bat.
That stuff looks all down. He's really keeping it down, it looks like.
Down with some movement. Yeah, in and out, staying out of the middle of the plate.
Well, the Diamondbacks right now looking for some offense. They do not have a hit against Chris Russin, who has 4 strikeouts, 5 ground ball outs. That's really worked for him. And the D-backs have now been held scoreless in 16 straight innings. 16 scoreless innings in a row here. Goldie will lead off the 4th. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Base hit. Goldie gets the Diamondbacks in the hit column to lead off the 4th inning.
Quick swing that time by Goldie. Line drive into left field, chasing Gerardo Parra through the birds out there. A few pigeons were feasting on sunflower seeds out there in left field.
I think they flew over from my house. I got a real pigeon problem over there.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yasmani Tomas walked in his first plate appearance.
Good at bats, good at bats. That's what the Diamondbacks should be telling each other when they leave that third base dugout to go up to the on deck circle. Just have a good at bat. Can't really control the results, but you can control the quality of the at bat. Make sure you get a good pitch to hit.
As Monty lays off that one, I was going to ask you, what's your definition of a good at bat?
Swinging at strikes, hittable strikes. We know that the pitchers can throw that ball on the corner at the knees or elevate up there at the top of the zone. Those are strikes, but they're not strikes that you can really do much with. So make sure you're getting hittable strikes and then put a good swing on. Always sounds so much simpler than it really is. Now that's a hittable strike. You don't mind a guy taking a good rip at an 88-mile-an-hour cutter right in the middle of the plate. But don't chase that two-seam sinker at the knees moving down. That's a pitcher's pitch. That's going to induce that weak contact that we saw in the highlights.
So just because it's in the strike zone doesn't mean you should necessarily swing.
Until you get to 2 strikes. Yeah, then you've got to open up your zone a little bit more.
Tomas gets it in the air, deep right center field. Blackmon at the wall, and he runs it down. Goldie's going to have to hustle back in there. Yasmani Tomas just missed a home run. That hung up there a long time. Blackmon had plenty of time to get over there right in front of the pool.
I have to believe roof and panels open. This ball gets out into the pool. Of course, you can't have it both ways. Mark Reynolds' ball would have been in the pool earlier in the ball game as well. Charlie Blackmon never took his eye off that ball, tracked it all the way to the barrier out there, and his pitcher gives him a standing ovation on the mound.
Well, nevertheless, it's a good sign for the Diamondbacks. We just showed you all the weak contact that Russin had been generating. That one really got up and almost out of here. Here's Wellington Castillo. Keeps taking that extra half a step. He inches his way over towards second base, almost daring Russin to throw over to first.
And the entire time anticipating whatever that trigger is to break towards second base. And you know Dave McKay has seen enough of Chris Russin that there is something over there that the Diamondbacks might be able to take advantage of.
Watch right about here. He'll get the extra step and a half or so. That's what he's been doing. Holds it steady there after Russin threw over. He misses there. And it's 1-0. Long look down to Matt Williams at third. Well, Goldie doing it again, inching over towards second base. Still going. And again, Russin misses. 2 balls and no strikes. He's thinking about that runner at first.
Maybe the distraction of Goldie over there at first base, taking a big lead, and then shortening it up a step the next time, and then taking another big lead again. Certainly, they're aware of his base stealing abilities over there at first base, and Russin splitting his attention between the base runner and the hitter. That's when bad things happen.
Yeah, quick throw over now. Goldie last year stole 21 bases. He's only got 1 this year, but his reputation as an excellent base runner is out there, certainly. Let's see if he takes that extra half a step once Russin comes set. Sort of dancing around over there. 2-0 is in there, first strike.
Wellington just looks like he's not picking the ball up well out of Chris Russin's hands tonight. He's raised his hands up a couple times on pitches that he thought were way inside off the plate, and they caught a lot of the dish.
Balls he should be hitting.
If you can't see him, you can't hit him. And sometimes pitchers, because of their delivery, there's just something about guys that some pitchers you just don't pick up the ball quickly. Other guys, it's like they're showing you what's coming. Just judging from Wellington's reaction to Chris Russin in his first at bat of the ball game, and so far in this one, it just doesn't look like he's picking it up quickly out of his hand.
Russin has started games before. In fact, he was the guy who threw the Rockies' only shutout all season last year. He blanked the Padres in August in Denver, no less. Goldie holds at first, and Castillo takes ball 3. Count is full. Peralta on deck.
Russell reminds me a little of Jimmy Key, former Toronto Blue Jay. With all of his pickoff moves, we've seen a big leg kick, slow pickoff attempt. We've seen a slide step pickoff attempt. We've seen him step off and snap a throw over there. Jimmy Key had a variety of pickoff moves at first base.
Three and two to Beef Wellington. Goldie holds it first, and Castillo hits it up the middle. LeMahieu behind the bag. Story turns a double play. Nice job there by the rookie shortstop Trevor Story. And they turn the double play behind Chris Russin. LeMahieu behind the bag. Story turns 2. Diamondbacks still trail by 2.
To left, they still trail the Rockies 2-0. Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs have not been able to find the offense so far. They have only 1 hit against Chris Russin. In the meantime, the Rockies have gotten to Zach Greinke for 2 runs on 7 hits. An RBI double by Trevor Story, RBI single by Gerardo Parra. And Charlie Blackmon, who singled and scored his last time up, leads off the Colorado 5th.
It's rare that the leadoff hitter leads off his first 3 at bats of a ball game. Led off the first, the third, now again here in the 5th.
He's been throwing a lot of first pitch breaking balls tonight and stealing strike 1.
Now, this is a very good first ball fastball hitting team. Up and down the lineup, all these guys looking to cherry pick that first fastball in the strike zone.
Takes a cut at that one. It's 0-2. That was not a great swing.
That's that kind of tweener changeup that Zach Greinke will throw. A lot of guys take 8 to 10 miles an hour off their straight changeup. Zach Greinke just takes a few miles per hour off, but it's enough to get hitters out in front.
And he strikes out Charlie Blackmon. 6 strikeouts for Zach Greinke. 1 down in the 5th.
Slider with that downward movement. We can give you so many different looks in an at bat. You mentioned the Trevor Story at bat earlier in the ball game when he threw 2 fastballs, 2 curves, 2 sliders, and a changeup. Against this Rockies lineup, you may have to use all your pitches every at bat.
Trevor Story has struck out and hit an RBI double. It is 10th home run of the season here last night. Ball 1. This was Trevor Story in the 3rd. Left it up.
Yeah, another ball that possibly could have gotten out of here. Roof and panels open. As it was, it landed just short of the warning track out there in left center.
You can see the reaction there by Zach Greinke. Frustration.
A good shot of Story's eyes there. We've talked about this several times already this season. Looking off the pitcher. You don't want to get caught in the batter's box just staring out at the mound. So he took a quick peek down the right field line. Some guys look at the foul pole. Some guys look at the scoreboard. Just to kind of relax their eyes a little bit and then refocus on that pitcher as he goes into his windup. Now your buddy from St. Louis the other day, he'd stare.
My buddy?
Yeah, the guy in the stands. We kept showing
him. The one that didn't blink, the Cardinal fan who doesn't blink. Yeah.
He would like to stare at the pitcher.
He can't help himself because he can't blink. It's a weird thing. That's in there for a strike.
Boy, that is the pitcher's pitch that we were talking about. That's a strike. There's no doubt it's a strike. But as a hitter, you can't do anything with that ball. Hit an easy grounder to the right side.
Way out in front of that slow breaking ball. 7 strikeouts for Greinke.
Bad breaking balls. Can't seem to lay off of them. It's a curveball that started in the zone, ends up in the dirt. Story chases it.
Now they'll put the shift on for Carlos Gonzalez, who was singled and struck out. Hit hard into right center. Chris Owings over to cut it off. They'll hold Cargo to a 2-out single.
That ball kind of checked up on CO out there in right center field. He got over in pretty good shape. And then you watch the ball kind of kicks back to his right. He has to stop in his tracks and reach back to make the play. Cargo had thoughts about going for 2, but CO able to get to it and hustle it back in quickly.
Nolan Arenado has singled and struck out. And remember, Greinke talked about facing this guy for the last 3 years, trying to find a place to pitch him because he just hits everything in any spot. So you really need your bag of tricks against Nolan Arenado.
Speaking of bag of tricks, I saw him miss a ground ball during batting practice.
No,
today.
you didn't.
Well, he tried to catch it behind his back.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say something must have happened. Was he blindfolded? Interesting for Greinke here. They've tried, and Mike Butcher has been on him to pitch inside more against some of these right-hand hitters, because the righties lately have been finding a way to get to those balls that Greinke leaves on the outer half and hit them the other way for home runs. So Mike Butcher has been saying, come inside more, come inside more. But if you come inside to Arenado, he can crush you. Anything on the inner third, you got to be careful. Because he can turn on those things, and he has a unique ability to keep it fair and just pull it down that left field line. .70 pitches for Zach, 49 strikes. Missed with a breaking ball that time. He's behind 3-1. Parra on deck. 3 straight balls to Arenado. Full count, 3-2. That'll get Cargo started from first. Shift is on for Arenado, so the second baseman Segura on the shortstop side of the bag here. All that room on the right-hand side of the infield for Arenado. Gets a little more patient when he gets in 3-2 counts than he normally is. There goes Gonzalez. Missed inside, ball 4. Look at Greinke's reaction there, hopping up off the mound.
It looked like Wellington was set up away and reached back to the inside part of the plate, just off the corner.
Boy, he really wanted that one, I guess. Second walk issued by Zach Greinke, so now 2 on and 2 out for Parra.
Well, Zach's not a guy that shows a lot of emotion out there on the mound, but we've seen it from the first pitch of the ball game tonight.
Yeah. You never see anything from Zach Greinke out there, but he's been a little more demonstrative here tonight. Parra, an RBI single his last time up, 1 for 2. So he's hit safely now in 6 straight.
Gerardo Parra making the rounds today before the Rockies took batting practice, greeting a lot of the ushers and some of the regular fans here at Chase Field. Fans that came out and rooted for Gerardo Parra for a long time.
He seems to be in a great place, not just Colorado, but I mean mentally, emotionally. He seems really happy where he is. Feels like a good fit for him. Uh-oh, BB. The Wetzel's pretzels have made their way into the booth, and they are loaded with cinnamon. I know you'll try to do the right thing, but you'll break down eventually.
Eventually. I'm just waiting for the last out here.
Well, the wife is here in the booth tonight. She just ran down there and got some Wetzel's pretzels for everybody.
I thought she made these.
Oh no, nobody makes these better than Wetzel's pretzels, and they're the best when they're at the ballpark here, because that smell of cinnamon from right below our broadcast position rises up, and it's like doing a ball game in a bakery. These are good. Gonzalez at second, Arenado at first, 2 outs. The 0-1 to Parra is in there, strike 2. Can't come to Chase Field and not get Wetzel's pretzels. Mike and Sharon's cactus corn down there too. We got the good stuff here. Won't chase in the dirt, a ball and 2 strikes.
You think back to some of the things Gerardo Parra used to do as a member of the Diamondbacks that occasionally would cause you to pull your hair out. We've already seen one tonight. A base running blunder, got thrown out at third base with Mark Reynolds at the plate. 2 outs in the inning. And as a hitter, he would occasionally chase that high fastball up there around neck high. Zach Greinke has a couple of pitches to play with here in this at bat if he chooses to try to elevate one.
Bounced at that time, and it's 2-2.
All right, now you want to make something happen. Definitely don't want to go to a full count. 2 runners on base, 2 outs in the inning. They'll be off with the pitch. Well placed single could possibly score that runner all the way from first base. I heard a pitching coach refer to the 2-2 pitch in this situation as a pitch of action. You want something to happen right here.
Nope, he missed. Full count, 3-2. And that'll start the runners. Second consecutive full count for Greinke, who walked Arenado last time. Started this inning off with 2 strikeouts. He got Blackmon and Story. Cargo singled. He lost Arenado in a 3-2 pitch. And now the count is full to Gerardo Parra. There go the runners. Parra shoots it the other way. Tomas is there. Greinke strands 2. He keeps it a 2-0 ball game. Offense, just 1 single so far against lefty Chris Russin, who's making his first start of the year for the Rockies. They trail it 2-0. As we start the 5th inning, Peralta, Owings, and Greinke 6, 7, 8 for the Diamondbacks.
Somebody needs to go rattle that bat rack. Sometimes when a team is in a little bit of an offensive funk, a bat boy or one of the players or one of the coaches goes over and just kind of rattles the bats around in the rack there. Wake them up a little bit.
Big crowd here tonight, 32,987. And we need to give these fans something to cheer about. We have, BB, 9,000 Amazon employees and family members here with us tonight. Sections 101 through 111. 9,000 folks from Amazon here at the ballpark. Peralta will lead off the 5th. Rockies put the shift on for David. Trevor Story, the shortstop, right behind the second base bag. And he hits it right to him. Well, that's why you shift right there.
That's it.
6-3 put out brings up Chris Owings. I mean, you don't shift. That's an easy single up the middle.
And guys aren't even surprised anymore. When you think back when we played the Atlanta Braves a few years ago, and Chipper Jones hitting ground balls up the middle of the field, and there was a defender standing right there, and it was like this incredulous look on his face. How can you play somebody there? Guys don't even bat an eye anymore.
Here we go. Owings walked his first time up. Well, we mentioned this, and maybe we'll see it, in fact, at Coors Field. They've talked about the Rockies maybe going to 4 outfielders in that ballpark. That's a shift with the way things are going. You feel like maybe eventually you'll see in the not too distant future. You got all that ground out there. Maybe you don't need 4 infielders. Maybe you're better off at Coors Field with 4 outfielders.
Yeah, if a guy's a fly ball hitter, he's more likely to hit the ball in the air to the outfield than he is to hit a ground ball to one of your shifted infielders. So, yeah, stick him out there in the gap.
Next road trip ends with 3 in Colorado. One more here against the Rockies tomorrow afternoon. Shelby Miller and Chad Bettis in that ball game. Monday we travel, 3 in Miami, 3 in Atlanta, and 3 in Colorado before we're back home for the Giants on May the 12th. And after that, the Yankees coming to town. So some big games coming up on the next homestand, fans. dbacks.com/tickets. That's the place to go. There's a 3-0 strike to CO. Nice night to be here. Roof and panels closed. Some weather outside, so we got nearly 33,000 in here with us tonight. And now the count is full, 3-2. Remember when Gibby used to try and get rallies started by changing where he sat in the dugout? There's a walk to Chris Owens. 3rd walk issued by Russin. So it looks like Chip Hale is trying to change the mojo down there. He hasn't rattled the bat rack as you suggested, but he is sitting in different spots.
As long as you alert your coaches where you're going to be sitting. Matty look into the dugout for a sign where Chip usually sits and there's nobody there. Where'd he go?
He's way down the other end. There's Glenn Sherlock and Mike Butcher, Dave Magadan, Ariel Prieto holding down the fort on that side. Chip's all by himself down there. Zach Greinke.
Chris Owens with 2 walks in the ball game, hitting in front of Zach Greinke tonight.
CO's at bats have been getting better and better. Now that he's healthy, it just makes a world of difference. Not chasing as many bad pitches as we saw him last year, trying to do too much. Big cut from Greinke. It's 0-1. It's not like Russin has dominated. He's got 9 more strikes than balls. Pitch number 70 on the way. And right now, make it 10, 40 strikes, 30 balls for Chris Russin, who has walked 3 and struck out 4. He's given up just 1 hit. But very efficient, keeping the ball down. Called strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Russin. 2 down in the 5th.
Shortstop, Nick Ahmed.
Brings up Nick Ahmed.
A lot of baseball left here tonight, but the Diamondbacks this season have had an extra base hit in every game. Only the lone Paul Goldschmidt single so far tonight.
Chris Owens 2 doubles were the extra base hits last night. They were shut out, had only 5 base hits. So far just 1 Goldie single tonight, as you mentioned. Ahmed grounded out his first time up. One and one. It's like on the bow of the ship, all by himself down the far end of the dugout, trying to get something started.
where he's at, he can just yell out to Matty what he wants him to do.
Yeah, that's true. Cut down on signs. He'll be in the camera well maybe in the next half inning. Do you ever do that? Move around different spots?
Yeah, I stayed in the same vicinity. I do other crazy things.
What'd you do? I'm afraid to ask.
There's just so many things.
Can we repeat any of them?
Oh yeah, I mean, you see the netting in front of the players right there, where I used to sit at this end of the dugout. If you kind of squeeze that netting together, you can make little designs and stuff. And if we were hitting, I tried to make the holes in the fence bigger. If we weren't hitting, I tried to make them smaller. I just crazy things. Sometimes I had my foot up on the railing, other times both feet down. Hand up on the railing, both hands on the railing, the other hand on the railing.
Hands across America.
Oh man, I mean, it drives you nuts. And it starts from the moment you wake up in the morning. What did I eat yesterday? No Frosted Flakes today. We got beaten last night. Okay. Maybe I'll try some fruit. Let's eat fruit. That's what we need. Take a different route to the ballpark if we lost the night before. If you're on a winning streak, you drove the same route every day and hope to get caught by the same lights.
Ahmed gets caught looking at strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Russin, who has worked 5 scoreless and given up just 1 hit. Chip will come back down to this end now.
It's Sunday's game. Sunday games are perfect for the family and start at 1:10 on Sunday, May 15th. Kids can take home the youth T-ball set courtesy of MLB Play Ball. And this year's back-to-school game is July 17th. Be here to take home the one-of-a-kind backpack featuring the new uniform teal courtesy of Smile Generation. Get tickets at dbacks.com.
Our own Dennis Lamb, in fact, has one of those backpacks that we'll hand out July 17th. And it's time for another episode of the Dennis Lamb Show. Camera 1, Dennis. There you go.
There you go.
And that is a great looking backpack right there.
Nice. That is really nice.
So what young D-backs fan wouldn't want to take that to school? And you can get that July 17th here at Chase Field for the game against the Giants. Nice job, Dennis. Thumbs up. And that's been the latest episode of the Dennis Lamb Show. The longest running series in baseball television. Something like that. Mark Reynolds leads off the 6th. Zach Greinke, 80 pitches, 53 strikes. 2 runs on 8 hits for the Rockies. No runs on 1 hit for the D-backs. A ball and a strike to Reynolds, who was doubled and popped up 1 for 2.
I mentioned back in the 5th inning that Charlie Blackmon had led off all 3 of his at-bats in the ball game. Same thing can be said for Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, Parra's. The one time Parra did get a hit, it was an RBI single, but he got himself thrown out at 3rd. So that ended the 3rd inning. fly ball toward the right field corner. Peralta runs out of room.
I'm not telling Diamondbacks fans anything they don't already know about Mark Reynolds, but boy, did he put on a show in batting practice. Man, people up there enjoying dinner at Friday's Front Row Sports Grill had a baseball laying in their salad up there. He was peppering that area of the field, that second deck, off the facing of the restaurant, off the sign above the restaurant.
He had a home run Wednesday, and the Rockies lost to the Pirates at Coors Field. And he looks at strike 3. That's 8 strikeouts for Zack Greinke. He also does that a lot too.
That's just a rare back. Here's my best fastball down low in the zone. Do what you will. And that time Mark Reynolds couldn't pull the trigger.
Nick Hundley now has walked and grounded out 0 for 1. Did not go, says Jordan Baker down at first. Chip Hale back in his normal spot. Swing and a miss. That's how they line up for Nick Hundley. Segura, the second baseman, on the shortstop side of the bag. In there for a strike, 1 and 2.
With Zack Greinke on the mound, Paul Goldschmidt can shade over toward second base even more than he normally would. Zack is so quick about getting over to cover the bag at first. If Nick Hundley, by some strange occurrence, would happen to hit one to the right side, Goldie's got to cover that entire side by himself, and Zack Greinke will be to the bag.
And there is Goldie. That stays fair. Got to hurry, and sure enough, Greinke is at the bag. It's like you can see the future.
He's just executing some good pitches here, and that time Nick Hundley took a fastball away, tried to shoot it through that right side, but Goldie ranged far to his left, back to his normal position to field that ground ball, and Zack always gets over there to cover the bag in good shape.
2 down for DJ LeMahieu, who doubled the left center field his last time up. He's 1 for 2. One of the rare times you'll see LeMahieu hit anything to the left-hand side of second base. He always, it seems, goes to right and right center. Nice to see him get a quick third out in this 6th inning and leave himself some pitches for the 7th. Zack Greinke. Pitch number 90 on the way. There's something deep to right center field. Peralta at the track, and he's got it. There's your quick out, and a 1-2-3-6. Greinke trails the Rockies 2-0. Diamondbacks trail the Rockies 2-0. Hey fans, if you're looking for a cool way to spend Memorial Day weekend with a family, well, we've got you covered right here. It's the air-conditioned comfort of Chase Field. That's the place to be. You'll get the D-backs pool bag on Saturday, May 28th, courtesy of Mattamy Homes. And on Memorial Day, Monday the 30th, pick up the D-backs barbecue apron, courtesy of IHOP. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. Well, here's good news for the Diamondbacks. They could not solve the mystery of left-hander Chris Russin, who worked 5 scoreless innings. And a new pitcher is on for the Rockies. It's the right-hander Carlos Estevez, just called up from AAA Albuquerque about a week ago. And these are his numbers so far. 6'4" right-hander, 23 years old, out of the Dominican Republic.
Averaged about a strikeout per inning at 2 different levels in the minor leagues last year. Right now he is ABR,
which is
anybody but Russin. Boy, the little lefty for the Rockies was really good tonight. A lot of weak contact, 6 strikeouts in the game. He did walk 3 Diamondbacks hitters, but managed to pitch around those.
That's in the seats. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Gene Segura up there 0 for 2 so far. Most hits in April all time. Segura needs 1 more to catch the O-Dog on this final day here in April. Tomorrow is May the 1st, so adjust your calendars accordingly. Bounces that one. Baseball fans in the Valley may have seen Estevez in the Arizona Fall League, where he had a good run. 11 appearances, went 1-2 with a 3.97 ERA, 14 strikeouts. He was a rising star in the Fall League last fall. Bounced over the middle, and there it is. Gene Segura ties Orlando Hudson, the Major League's hits leader, a leadoff single. Just the 2nd hit tonight for the Diamondbacks.
No shift on for the Rockies this time. You see LeMahieu and Story split wide apart up the middle, and that's right where Gene Segura hits it, right back over the bag.
Brandon Drury now. Drury has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. There's a strike at 95, 0-1. Chip Hale was true to his word this week when he said that Brandon Drury is clearly forcing his way into the lineup more often, and they would have to figure out where to fit him in the lineup, and they've done that all week. He has started games at 4 different positions, and as Chip said, they will just keep running with it because he's a darn good player. And he has been piling up the extra base hits lately. Started games at 2nd base, 3rd base, left field, right field. Lays off that one, 2-1.
First look at Estevez, but you get the feeling that this is not a guy that's going to try to finesse his way through a line. Big fastball at 95, behind in the count, 2-1 here to Brandon Drury. Figures to be a fastball count.
That one is launched way back and gone. Brandon Drury, that's number 4, and we are tied at 2. Guess what? Drury didn't finesse that one either.
No.
That thing was launched.
He mauled that 2-1 fastball that time. You might be able to get away with that pitch in Double-A, maybe even in Triple-A, but in the big leagues, doesn't matter how hard you throw it. If you make mistakes on the inside part of the plate to good hitters, they're going to make you pay.
And now the offense has come alive. Here's Goldie. 1 hit in 5 innings against Chris Russin. Against Estevez, a single and a homer, and that is a jumbo jack from the rookie Brandon Drury.
That was it ever.
His 4th home run this year.
And you compound the fact that so far Estevez just hasn't commanded anything but the fastball. Bounced some sliders, threw a changeup in the dirt that time.
Things have changed quickly here. 410 feet is the StatCast reading on Brandon Drury's home run. It seemed a lot more majestic than that.
It was high in the air. Roof and panels open once again. It may have been up on top of Friday's Front Row Sports Grill.
Waiter, there's a baseball in my suit. Don't say anything. Everybody will
want one.
2-0 to Goldie. In there for a strike at 95. Well, how about Brandon Drury? Last 12 games for Drury. 10 extra base hits, 9 RBIs. Buckled him that time for a strike. 2-2. The former Diamondback back at Chase Field, and he steals a base hit from Goldie.
Jam shot, broken bat. Reynolds ranging far to his right. I don't believe DJ LeMahieu would have had a play on that ball. He was shading up the middle of the field. Reynolds, the only Rocky defender that could get to it. What a nice diving play.
First out in the home half of the 6th, and what is now a 2-2 ball game. Yasmani Tomas, a walk and a fly ball out. Tomas almost took one out of here off Russin his last time up. Charlie Blackmon ran it down right in front of the pool in right center. Lays off that one, but it's in there for a strike. The slider makes it 0-1. He's up there looking for fastballs, hasn't got one yet. Off the fist, little jam shot pop up. LeMahieu ranging out to right center field. 2 down. Here's Beef Wellington. Castillo has struck out looking and hit into a double play. It's been a rough night so far. But now he's in there against Estevez. At 280 on the year. Missed upstairs at 96. It's 1-0 to Castillo. Big cut at that one. His helmet was over his eyes there when he swung. Yeah.
His eyes spun around in his skull that time he swung so hard.
That's in there for a strike on the outer half. 1-2. A Segura single, a Drury homer have tied it 2-2. About 33,000 in here tonight. Lays off that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the bad news is after the first 3 hitters of the inning, Estevez is starting to find a feel for that slider. Well, some pretty good ones to the last 2 hitters.
Broken bat. Center field for Blackmon. But Segura gets his base hit to lead off the inning, and then Brandon Drury crushes one. His 4th of the year. We'll head to the 7th. D-backs and Rockies are tied at 2.
Brandon Drury's 4th home run of the year has tied it up 2-2. Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Good crowd here tonight. Diamondbacks have come back to tie it up 2-2 as we start the 7th inning. Zack Greinke back out there. So far Greinke's given up 2 runs on 8 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 8. And the pitcher's spot will lead off the inning for Colorado, and we'll get a look at Christian Adames, who will hit for the pitcher. Adames at 160 for the year, 4 for 25, all singles. He'll lead it off with Greinke at 90 pitches, 61 strikes.
And his spot is due up 3rd in the bottom half of the inning, so this could be one of those empty the tank innings for Zack Greinke.
That's another example of some of the things that Chip Hale has talked about with Zack Greinke. The results have not always been there, but he has, for the most part, consistently gone deep into the ball game and really given that bullpen a break when they need it. And hopefully Zack will be able to get through 7 innings here. Diamondbacks are 10-4 when the starting pitcher goes 6 or more. D-backs made another roster move before the ball game today, trying to freshen up that exhausted bullpen down there. And one of their top young pitchers in the lower levels of the minor leagues was called up today. Zach Curtis, who's been an outstanding closer both at Hillsborough and Kane County. There's Zach. He's a Middle Tennessee Blue Raider, a 6th round pick by the Diamondbacks 2 years ago, and he has been a strikeout machine. But he's up here from A-ball. He got called up from the Visalia Rawhide last night.
Quite a jump.
So they have another fresh arm back there. Keith Hessler was designated for assignment by the Diamondbacks to make room for Zach Curtis, who's up here in the big leagues for the first time. And of course Jake Barrett was just added the other day as well. So some fresh arms back there. It seems, BB, like there's a new guy back there every day.
Yeah, get on the shuttle. Yeah, Zach Curtis, you may see him sitting there on the chair, go, boy, he doesn't look very big. He's only 5'9", weighs 190 pounds.
He has put up some ridiculous strikeout numbers in Hillsborough and Kane County. Charlie Blackmon has singled, scored a run, and struck out twice. He's 1 for 3. Tyler Clippard has started warming up in that Sanderson Ford bullpen. As Bob mentioned, Zack Greinke's spot is due up 3rd in the home half of the 7th. Greinke batting 8th tonight and coming up on 100 pitches. hasn't exactly been textbook. The locations have not been exactly the way he's wanted, Bob. But, you know, in the end, if he gets through this inning, it's going to be 7 innings. 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. That's about what you're looking for.
Yeah, his stuff has been really good tonight. Dipping and darting. The slider's been as good as we've seen it this year. That 2-seam fastball has had a lot of sink inside to the right-handers. As you mentioned earlier in the game, stole some first pitch strikes with that big, slow curveball.
0-2 to Blackmon. Doesn't chase that one. And he, as you said, the key to the ball game, he has to this point kept it in the ballpark.
We talked about Chris Russin earlier in the ballgame getting a lot of weak contact off the Diamondbacks bats. Well, Zach Greinke's done pretty much the same thing to the Rockies tonight. Been a few hard hit balls, but not as many as we've seen in past starts.
Still some work to do here in this inning. Blackmon fights off another one. And here comes Kirk Farley down the right field line. Our Golden Glover down there. We've got Ron, don't call me Cliff Pennington down there in left. And Kirk Foul Pole Farley in right field. Old Foul Pole is down there. That's going to stay fair for Goldie. He'll take it himself. 2 down. Well, fitting perhaps that the last guy you think Greinke's going to have to get here tonight is Trevor Story, the rookie shortstop who has an RBI double. He's also struck out twice. He is leading the league in homers and strikeouts. And so one more time, Greinke v. Story. Story has hit a home run in every game he's played in this ballpark. But so far, the double is only hit tonight.
Yeah, 2 strikeouts give him a total of 37 on the season. I really think if Zach executes his pitches and bounces that breaking ball in the dirt, keeps that fastball out of the middle of the plate, I think he'll strike him out again.
Gets ahead 0-1. Zach has given up only 2 hits since the 3rd inning. A LeMahieu double in the 4th. He was stranded there. A Gonzalez 2-out single in the 5th. He did not come around and score. He's retired the last 6 he's faced.
Mentioned his Story has struck out twice against Zach in the ball game tonight, both times coming on sliders in the dirt. See if he goes right back to that pitch in the 0-2 count, or maybe sets it up with a fastball in.
He's got a few to play with here. Slider misses. 1-2. Tyler Clippard still throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Missed upstairs with a fastball, and Story's back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So he went slider away, no good. Fastball up, no good.
Bounce that slider. I just think this is just such an aggressive young hitter. He wants to swing that bat, and you get it close to the zone with some movement down and away from the right-handed hitter. Good chance he'll chase it again.
Nick Ahmed is there, and Zach Greinke gets through 7. We stretch at Chase Field. It's a 2-2 ball game.
ready for the D-backs to put 3 more runs on the board, because you know what that means, Diamondbacks fans. When the D-backs score 5 or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, Zach Greinke, there's a key 7 innings of 2-run ball, a conversation with Wellington Castillo down there. And we assume that his night is over. Mike Butcher chiming in as well, the pitching coach there.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress. Zach Greinke working with Wellington Castillo and Chris Herman for that matter. Learning new catchers, catchers learning new pitchers, and with each passing outing, you get a little more knowledge, a little more under your belt going into the next one.
New pitcher for the Rockies. We saw him last night, the right-hander Gonzalez Herman, who came on to get the final 2 outs of the 7th last night. He struck out Drury, got Owings to fly out. And he'll work to Peralta. Owings in the pitcher spot here in the Arizona 7th. Herman last night threw 12 pitches, 8 strikes. His 5th appearance of the year. Peralta 0 for 2 so far. Shift is on for the Rockies, and he's down 0-2. Tyler Clippard continues to warm up in the Diamondback bullpen, so it looks like he'll get the 8th inning. Greinke spot due up 3rd here. There's a look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Garvin Alston, the bullpen coach, down there with Tyler. Peralta knocks it to center field. Blackman coming in, and he runs it down.
Blackman had to make a quick adjustment on his route to that ball. I think he thought it was hit better than it really was going laterally over toward that gap in right center. Had to change direction and come streaking in to make the play.
Chris Owings. CO has walked twice tonight. Jake Lamb has come out of the Diamondback dugout. He's in the on-deck circle. Looks like he'll hit for Greinke. Out and lifts that one to shallow right center. Blackman coming in again. 2 down. And here comes Jake Lamb.
Zach Greinke, number 22.
Jake at 282. He's homered 3 times. He went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts last night.
And both managers choosing not to get a left-hander up. You look back to that top of the 7th when Trevor Story lined out to Nick Ahmed to end the inning. Carlos Gonzalez in the on-deck circle, but Chip Hale was content to go with his right-hander.
You think that's because it was Greinke? You don't get the lefty up?
I think that's probably exactly why he did it. Now, as far as Walt Weiss, I'm not sure. He's got 2 lefties down there in the bullpen. Jake Lamb's been standing in the on-deck circle. But no lefty up in this situation. Good opportunity for Jake here against a hard-throwing righty.
Von Herman is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Rockies overload the right-hand side of the infield against Lamb. Arenado all by himself in the shortstop spot near 3rd. Up and in with a fastball. It's 1-2. 2-2. Fly ball, right field. Gonzalez has room. A 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th inning. D-backs and Rockies tied at 2. As we start the 8th inning, the Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. Zach Greinke tonight retired the last 7 he faced. 2 runs on 8 hits in 7 innings with 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, quite possibly his best start of the year as far as stuff and command of that stuff. Able to bounce that ball in the dirt against this tough Rockies lineup. That is exactly what the doctor ordered this evening.
And Tyler Clippard had been warming up in the Diamondback bullpen, but here is Daniel Hudson, who's worked 10 2/3 innings in 10 appearances this year and has given up just 2 hits. He has struck out 9. He has been sensational so far.
Fantastic. That exploding fastball, really good slider, and an improved changeup that is actually a really good weapon for him now against lefties.
He'll work to Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, and Gerardo Parra, 3, 4, and 5 in the Colorado 8th. Cargo 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Diamondbacks have the shift on for Gonzalez. And he hits right into it, but drops it in front of Peralta for a leadoff single. His 3rd hit tonight.
Third baseman Nolan Arenado.
Brings up Nolan Arenado, who has singled and walked.
Guy that throws upper 90s. I'm not a big fan of a first pitch changeup.
Because what are you changing up from?
Yeah,
right?
you know, you give the guy a speed to gauge. Make him turn up the velocity on his bat a little bit, and then that changeup becomes effective. I mean, he throws his changeup in the mid to upper 80s, so, you know, for a lot of guys, that's just good fastball hitting speed.
And they're at 94. First pitch fastball, 0-1. So if you want to go off speed or something, first pitch, more of a slider or whatever else the guy has.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with throwing a changeup first pitch, but I think it has to be a really slow changeup. We talked all night about how these Rockies hitters are just steadily looking for fastballs to hit, and occasionally you can fool a guy with a first pitch changeup, but I think with a fastball of the velocity that Daniel Hudson features, I have to show them the fastball first. Get them thinking quicker in the batter's box.
Drop that one in there for a strike. 1-2. Coming inside here to Arenado. Got him. 95. Little baton twirl at the end there.
Yeah, I can almost read his mind. You know, you gave him the slider on the outside corner at the knees. Now you're going to give him that pitch off the inside corner at the knees. I can't cover both of them.
Little message there for Toby Basner, the plate umpire. Gerardo Parra now. Parra had an RBI single in the third. He's 1 for 3.
Well, that was a great job by Daniel Hudson. In and out, away, away, back inside. Nolan Arenado is not an easy guy to catch looking at a strike 3.
Center field for Owens. Got a late break. 2 down.
First baseman Mark Reynolds.
Brings up Mark Reynolds, who doubled in the second. He's 1 for 3. Reynolds striking out more often this year. I know that's probably hard to believe. About 32% of the time he's up there, in fact, and that is his highest strikeout rate since he was with the Diamondbacks, which was 6 years ago now. But he's also hitting well over 300 with a couple of home runs.
Yeah, it's kind of a trade-off you accept when you sign Mark Reynolds. He's going to punch out a whole bunch, and you know that going in. But the trade-off is he's going to hit the ball in the seats.
And Huddy threw it well over the head of Goldie. Cargo gets a free 90 feet. That is E1, puts Gonzalez at second with 2 outs. He's the go-ahead run. Conference time at the mound with the corner infielders.
Knowing Paul Goldschmidt the way we do, he probably went in there to Huddy and said, "That's my fault for not being taller." That is a big 90 feet, though. 2 outs in the inning. You'd like to get that third out quickly here with that runner moving into scoring position on the bad pickoff throw.
Yeah, that's a big base right there for the Rockies. Missed with a slider, 1-0.
Rockies just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. The Diamondbacks have had only 1 at bat in this game with a runner in scoring position.
Goldie all by himself on the right hand side of the infield. The shift is on for Reynolds. That's in there. Slider up, 1-1. Fastballs yet for Reynolds. 2 balls and a strike. Missed away at 94. It's 3-1. You've got Nick Hundley on deck.
And you do have a base open down there at first. You pitch yourself into a dangerous hitter's count right here at 3-1. You Might see a slider off the plate right here. Fastball off the plate away. They want to talk it over here. Wellington Castillo went through some signs. Huddy didn't like what he saw, so this is the right thing to do. Go out there and talk about it. Big at bat in the ball game right here. A lot of possibilities. You can pitch around of Mark Reynolds. Hope he chases something to go to a full count pitch. If he doesn't and you walk him, then you go fresh after Nick Hundley with a new count. Sets up a force play at any base on the infield should there be a tough grounder hit.
Three balls, one strike to Mark Reynolds. Ball four.
And a changeup on a 3-1 pitch right there. That tells me that Daniel Hudson and Wellington Castillo talked it over and decided they don't care if they walk him. If he chases a bad pitch, then maybe we go after him on the 3-2, but we're not going to toss him a cookie on a 3-1 count.
So with 2 outs in a tie ball game, 8th inning here. Rockies have Gonzalez at second, Reynolds at first, and here's the catcher Nick Hundley, who walked in the 2nd inning and has grounded out his last 2 times up, all against Zach Greinke. He's 0 for 2. Hundley doubled and homered here last night. He drove in 3. Boy, Huddy's getting frustrated.
Everything gets ratcheted up in a tie ball game late. Those guys that are used to coming in and pitching in these big situations, they want to execute their pitches. He wanted to get ahead in the count there to Nick Hundley with an off-speed delivery and then go to work, and he missed with it and now runs the risk of falling farther behind in the count.
2-0. Change-up miss, slider missed.
This is where location is everything. This is one of those obvious fastball counts. It's no guarantee that Daniel Hudson's going to throw a fastball, but normally that 2-0 pitch, after you've missed with both of your off-speed deliveries, you come back to number 1. You throw that fastball. Nick Hundley, being a catcher, is well aware of that.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. Ran it up and in on his hands at 95, and it's 2-1. Trying to keep this a 2-2 ball game. Good crowd here tonight, 33,000. Bounce to shortstop, Nick Ahmed. They get the force on Reynolds, and Daniel Hudson strands 2. He keeps it tied in the 8th.
One of the things we'll be talking about on Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show, the battle between Trevor Story and Zach Greinke and Russ Ortiz. You saw something in this sequence of events tonight between these two, right?
Yeah, I saw that Story was looking for locked into a certain area of the plate the whole time.
All right, so we're going to break down each at bat between Greinke and Story and so much more, plus the conclusion of this one. So let's get back to the booth. Steve and Bob, take it away. It's all yours.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll look forward to that after our ball game. Our Gila River game summary. Rockies had a 2-0 lead until Brandon Drury hit a 2-run homer in the 6th inning to tie the ball game. And now we go to the home half of the 8th inning with a new pitcher for the Rockies. It's the former Diamondback, the right-hander Chad Qualls, in his 13th year in the big league. The Rockies are his 9th different team, his 11th appearance of the season. And Nick Ahmed leads off the Arizona 8th. Nick so far 0 for 2. Chad Qualls, 37 years old. He'll be 38 in August. Has pitched the last 2 years in Houston. Rockies gave him a 2-year, $6 million deal. He did not go, says Jordan Baker down there. It's a ball and a strike on Nick.
Qualls is one of those pitchers, and as you mentioned, he's done it for a long time. He's a sinker slider guy. Basically 2 pitches, throw a sinker on both sides of the plate, throw that slider away from the right-handers.
Just missed there. Doesn't get the call from Toby Basner. 2 balls and a strike on Ahmed. Right now is 3 for his last 41 at the plate. Right to that, Williams at third. Diamondbacks trying to even this series at a game apiece, get back to 500 on the year. And he came into the ball game a half game behind the Giants and the Dodgers in the NL West, a division in which no team has a winning record at this point in the year. Dodgers are hosting the Padres tonight. They are losing. San Diego leads that ball game 5-2 in the 5th inning. Giants lost again at the Mets, 6-5 the final there. They beat Matt Cain after Jake Peavy had a rough time of things yesterday. Trevor Story. One away. D-back still with only 3 hits in the ball game. A Goldie single to lead off the 4th. Segura led off the 6th with a single, and Drury homered, and that has been the offense so far. And here's Gene Segura. Brad Ziegler has started warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Ziegler will begin tonight, having recorded 33 consecutive saves. Drury, who homered his last time up, is on deck. Trying to get Brad a lead here for the 9th inning. And Segura ahead, 2 balls and no strikes.
Qualls really got underneath that last sinker, flattened out. Fortunately for him, it stayed up out of the strike zone that time.
It's another good example of what Chip Hale was talking about with Gene Segura. The at-bats go deeper than you think they would. It's not a 1-pitch, 2-pitch at bat. He will work counts a lot deeper than Chip thought he would coming in. Ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Bounces this one. Story comes in. Tricky hop for him, but he retires Segura. The Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Brandon Drury in the 6th inning absolutely crushes his 4th of the year.
Just all the way across the plate from the outside corner to the inside corner, and we know Brandon Drury is quick, especially on those fastballs down, where he can just drop the head of the bat on them.
He has struck out, grounded out, and homered 1 for 3. Brandon has 20 hits this season, 11 of them for extra bases, including 4 homers. Yes, he went, Jordan Baker, 0-2. There is nothing in the rule book about a check swing.
No. Different opinions from different people on what constitutes a swing and what constitutes a check swing.
I talked to one manager one time, and he said every time I went out there and asked an umpire, what do you look for there? He said he got a different answer every time.
I'd always heard if the barrel of the bat crosses the front of the plate. But like you said, it's not in the rule book.
Just does get a piece. Got a piece of Toby Basner back there as well.
He shakes it off well. Looks like it caught him on the right side of the mask right there. High sinker. Yeah.
Boy, that thing running in on Brandon. One ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Drury. Just away, 2-2.
This looks like the Rockies are going to try to keep everything away from Brandon after turning on that inside fastball and jerking it out of here.
Going down there again. Trevor Story keeping him busy. 3 6-3s in the inning for the Diamondbacks. We go to the 9th, still tied at 2. The 9th inning at Chase Field, and fans may the force be with the D-backs as they take on the San Francisco Giants. Star Wars night is here. It's coming up Saturday, May 14th. And if you get to the ballpark early, you'll get the D-backs Star Wars soft style t-shirt. It's courtesy of Cotton Communications. Visit dbacks.com for tickets. Brad Ziegler, 9 of his 10 appearances have been scoreless, including the last 6 in a row. And he is on to work the top of the 9th inning against Colorado. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off pitcher spot after that, then Charlie Blackmon. LeMahieu doubled in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Still no one in the on-deck circle for Walt Weiss.
I think it kind of depends on whether LeMahieu reaches or not.
But you have to have somebody out there, right? That's the rule.
A rule. You have to have somebody standing in the on-deck circle, and a lot of times in this case, the next hitter after the on-deck hitter, which in this case is Charlie Blackmon, will go out and stand in the on-deck circle. But
there's Blackmon. He's on the top step of the dugout, but that's a good 30-40 feet away from the on-deck circle, which is still empty as LeMahieu gets the first pitch of the inning right to Ahmed. All right, now somebody comes running out here. And it looks like Ben Paulson. Yep, Ben Paulson will hit for the pitcher.
Pinch hitting for Chad Walls, number 10, Ben.
The big lefty, Ben Paulson, hitting .311 with a home run. He has been announced as the Rockies hitter. Paulson struck out in his only at bat last night against Tyler Clippard. Strike 1. It's an EY senior. There's foul pole Farley right on it. Well, oh no.
Took a bad hop.
I think the scoring decision is fairly obvious. Kirk foul pole Farley, our Golden Glover, down the right field line. 0-2 on Paulson.
Well, in his defense, Kirk's specialty is foul balls.
Yeah, that's true. He fielded that one in fair territory.
Yeah.
That's an excellent observation. So we'll have to change the scoring on Kirk's ball there. That one is hit toward the right field corner. And just does get outside that foul pole. Speaking of foul poles, that thought for a moment it might clank off that thing.
Looked a little bit like Chris Herman's swing on his home run a few days ago.
Oh, he left it up.
Yeah, you kind of got fooled a little bit, got out in front. Fortunately, a lot of side English on that line drive, takes it right into foul territory.
Brad has not been keeping the ball down as consistently as we usually see. He's done an outstanding job. It's hard to do better than what he's done as the closer. 33 consecutive saves, but from time to time he'll leave the ball up this year. And that one is hit hard right into the shift. It's a 1-out single for Paulson, and he's the go-ahead run.
Center fielder Charlie Blackmon.
Brings up Charlie Blackmon, 1 for 4, a single in the 3rd. This guy about a .340 career hitter against the Diamondbacks. Blackmon had 2 singles and a walk last night. In there for a strike, 0-1. Diamondbacks in the home half will have the heart of the order. Goldschmidt, Tomas, Castillo, 3, 4, and 5. He hits it right through the hole, and he rolls it into left. 2 on, 1 out for Trevor Story.
You never quite feel the same panic with a couple runners on base against Brad Ziegler, especially with 1 out already in the inning. He's always 1 pitch away from that double play. Since the beginning of the 2008 season, he is the #1 reliever in Major League Baseball in getting that double play ball. 102 double plays induced. Second place on that list, Jim Johnson at 81.
Well, they'll huddle up and figure out how to deal with a rookie shortstop who had an RBI double in the third. It's Paulson at second, Blackman at first, one out. 2-2 ninth inning, and here is Story, who has 7 career hits here at Chase Field. 5 of them are home runs. Strike one. Trevor Story, 4 games at Chase Field. In this ballpark, 5 homers. Last Rockies rookie to homer 5 times against the D-backs was Aaron Miles back in 2004, so it's been a while. Gets the call there, 1-2.
Looking for that ground ball, just pounding away at the bottom of the zone there with that sinking, tailing fastball.
Cell phone lights are flashing here at the ballpark. 33,000 with us tonight at Chase. Looking for that ground ball. Story will back out.
Just does get a piece that time. Way off the plate inside. Well, what we've seen from Trevor Story, he's likely to hit a ground ball to the left side. Brad Ziegler's got a real good sinking fastball tonight. So far, he's kept it down there at knee level or below. Story has a little bit of an uppercut swing. It's almost inevitable he's going to hit the top part of the baseball here, and since he tries to pull it, it should go to the left side.
He's also struck out twice tonight, leading the major leagues in strikeouts. 1-2 pitch. Fair ball down the right field line. Paulson will come in and score. Blackman is flying into third. Stu Cole waves him home. Peralta cannot fish it out of the corner. And the Rockies take a 4-2 lead. Story standing at third base. David Peralta had trouble picking that ball up down there along the right field line.
Last thing I thought we'd see from Trevor Story, a ball hit right down the right field line. The ball's on the inside corner of the plate. Man.
A 2-run triple for the rookie Trevor Story. And it's 4-2 Colorado. They have out-hit the Diamondbacks 12-3. Carlos Gonzalez. He hasn't hit a home run, but Story has been the problem again tonight. He has knocked in 3 of Colorado's 4 runs. A double in the third, a triple here in the ninth.
Yeah, despite the lack of a home run, this is what's turned out to be a typical Trevor Story night. A couple of extra base hits and 2 strikeouts. And Walt Weiss will take that every night for the rest of the year from his young shortstop.
You bet. Infield in for the D-backs here. 1-1 count. There's Zach Curtis, called up today from Class A Visalia. Ready for his major league debut if it comes to that. Three and one on Cargo. And they're going to put him on base here and work to Arenado.
And once Brad Ziegler gave up the lead, you start thinking about maybe pulling the plug, saving him some pitches. He did throw 16 pitches on Thursday. Wasn't used yesterday. But the last thing in the world any manager wants to do is leave his closer out there to run up a high pitch count and then possibly lose him for the next day.
Well, Curtis is a left-hander. You've got a lefty on deck in Parra, but first he's got to navigate Arenado here with 2 on and 1 out. Foul.
Kind of puzzled that the Diamondbacks are playing in as far as they are, especially the 2 guys in the middle. Brad Ziegler, as we mentioned before, a double play machine when he keeps that ball down. That's a ball Nick probably would have got to had he been playing at normal depth.
Story scores 5-2 Rockies. Here comes Chip Hale. He's got his rookie left-hander warming up, ready for his major league debut, and he is going to bring him in right now. Rockies have put 3 on the board in the 9th. Zach Curtis, his major league debut, next. '23-year-old left-hander Zach Curtis, 5'9" lefty with an unusual low arm slot, kind of crossfire delivery, not at all conventional out there. Sneaky fast, a big slider. He has been one of the most promising young pitching prospects the Diamondbacks have had in the lower levels of their system. Just called up from Class A Visalia. He has never pitched above A ball, but now here he is in the big leagues. Out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, a Middle Tennessee State Blue Raider. 6th round pick by the D-backs 2 years ago.
In his 91 1/3 innings pitched at the minor league level, he has 139 strikeouts against only 29 walks.
He has put up some enormous strikeout numbers in the minor leagues. He was a starting pitcher in college at Middle Tennessee State, and in fact led the nation in strikeouts the year he was drafted 2 seasons ago. But he has worked in the Diamondbacks system primarily as a closer, a guy who is very aggressive out there, pitches to contact, and racks up some big strikeout numbers. He has averaged as a professional nearly 14 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched.
It's kind of interesting to see when Curtis came in from the bullpen, got to the mound, the infield, and Wellington Castillo gathered around, and I'm sure Welling was saying, well, what do you throw?
Well, he was a starting pitcher, as we mentioned, so he's not at all your conventional closer type. He's got 4 pitches. It's not just a fastball slider 2-pitch mix. He can mix it up out there, and he knows how to pitch. That's the scouting report on him. He is not just a thrower, but he's inherited a major league mess here in his big league debut. He's got Cargo at second, Arenado at first. 1 out, 3 runs in the 9th, and here's Gerardo Parra. Parra an RBI single in the 3rd. He is 1 for 4. Curtis with a sneaky fastball that can get up mid-90s, a real good slider that's very tough on left-handers, and he's also got a curveball and a changeup. There's that slider, miss 1-0. There's the strike. Zach Curtis, after he was drafted in 2014, went to Hillsborough, short season ball in the Northwest League. 42 strikeouts in only 27 innings, had 14 saves. And last season he dominated at Kane County in the Midwest League. A 1.33 ERA, 33 saves, 75 strikeouts in only 54 innings. Up the middle, there's a ground ball. Ahmed Segura. Zach Curtis is a big leaguer. He gets the Diamondbacks out of a mess. Bottom 9 coming up. Nice job there, Zach Curtis, in his major league debut. Gets a double play ball to win the top of the 9th inning, but the Rockies get 3. And now they have their closer on. It's Jake McGee. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Tomorrow starters, the series finale. Chad Bettis goes for the Rockies, and Shelby Miller for the Diamondbacks. That's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Rockies in the offseason traded Corey Dickerson, one of their better hitters, to Tampa Bay to get this guy, Jake McGee, to be their closer. And he's on there now in the 9th inning. Leading the ball game 5-2. He'll face Paul Goldschmidt, Yasmani Tomas, and Wellington Castillo, 3, 4, and 5 in the Arizona 9th.
4 out of 5 in save opportunities, but you can see the opponent's batting average well over 300 there against McGee.
Since the Brandon Drury homer that tied it 2-2 in the 6th, it has been for the Diamondbacks 9 up and 9 down. They have only 3 hits in the ball game. Goldie will lead off the 9th. He singled in the 4th, 1 for 3. Jake McGee earned a well-earned reputation as a tough left-hander in the American League East. He had 4 straight scoreless appearances coming into a game Sunday against the Dodgers when he imploded. His first blown save, a career-high 5 earned runs allowed in that ball game. So he might be vulnerable here. Goldie ahead 2-1. Good major league debut for Zach Curtis. Diamondbacks have now used 21 pitchers here in the 2016 season. Starters and relievers, 21 different guys, the most in the major leagues.
That's just the first month.
Yeah, amazing. And there is Zach Curtis, who has spent the season pitching for J.R. House at Class A Visalia in the Cal League. A very promising young left-hander in the Diamondback system. McGee bounces that one. He's worked it full on Goldie, 3-2.
Base runners. D-backs need some guys on base here. He's been consistently up and away from Goldie with his fastball. That last breaking ball bounced well out in front of home plate. Goldie was a little frustrated with himself for chasing the high fastball earlier in the sequence. Another visible sign of emotion up there.
Shatters the bat a little bleeder and it drops in. Leadoff man aboard. Goldie 2 for 4.
And really shattered Goldie's bat. The barrel went helicoptering over Yasmani Tomas's head in the on-deck circle. Fortunately, that screen extended a little bit farther down the first and third base line, saved that bat from whistling up into the stands.
Yasmani Tomas has walked, flied out, popped up 0 for 2. First pitch fouled back. Russ Ortiz and Todd Walsh, Diamondback Live postgame show as soon as our ball game ends here on Fox Sports Arizona. Series finale tomorrow afternoon, a 1:10 first pitch. Diamondback Live pregame show at 12:30. Shelby Miller and Chad Bettis. Can't check. He's down 0-2. Well, they're fixing Goldie's bat. Dennis Lamb down there. You never know what Dennis is going to turn up. There's Mickey in his usual post right by the D-back dugout. Does such a good job down there. How about Dennis Lamb?
About time he did something.
0-2 to Tomas. McGee bounces another one. Goldie stays put. It's 1-2. At the shortstop. Story, the backhander. They get one, and LeMahieu turns two.
Story makes a nice play over in the hole, gets rid of the ball quickly to DJ LeMahieu, who turns it as good as anybody in the National League out there at second base. Easy double play for the Rockies that time.
Wellington Castillo, last man standing for the D-backs. Zach Greinke tonight went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs on 8 hits. He walked 2 and had 8 strikeouts. It was a 2-2 ball game in the 9th. That's when the Rockies got to Brad Ziegler. Singles by Paulson and Blackman. A 2-run triple by Story. RBI single by Arenado. A 3-run Colorado 9th. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 13-4. And the D-backs, who had only 5 hits last night, have only 4 here tonight. Two and two. Missed inside. Full count. 3-2. Peralta on deck. Giants lost in New York today 6-5. Dodgers losing at home right now to the Padres 5-2. They're in the 7th. D-backs with a loss here will drop to 12-14 on the year. Castillo blasts it deep to center field. That's a fair ball. It's off the wall. Hold the phone. Wellington Castillo keeps this thing going with a 2-out double.
Center cut fastball from McGee that time. Wellington barreled that one up the straightaway center field. Thought it had a chance off the bat, but like a lot of balls that have been hit in the air to the outfield tonight, just hasn't been carrying as well tonight as we're used to seeing in this ballpark.
Well, the Rockies with a lefty closer out there, so a tough AB for David Peralta, who is 0 for 3. Can't check his swing there. It's 0-1, says Paul Emmel. Arenado all by himself, somewhere near the third base bag. Story, the shortstop, right behind second base umpire Tim Timmons. David came into the ball game hitting about .230 against left-hand pitching this year. That includes 3 extra base hits and a homer. A bouncer up the middle. Arenado runs way over there to get it, and the Rockies win the ball game 5-2. They clinch a series victory here, and the Diamondbacks drop to 2 games below .500. And Bob, once again, Trevor Story is the story. He did not homer tonight, but he had all the big hits. An RBI double in the 3rd and a 2-run triple in the 9th.
Yeah, he's a good-looking hitter. He has some weaknesses. We saw that tonight exposed by Zack Greinke. But, man, you make mistakes in the strike zone, he will make you pay. The bigger story for me, once again, is the inconsistent offense of the Arizona Diamondbacks against statistically the worst pitching staff in Major League Baseball. They got shut out on 5 hits last night and scored 2 runs on the Brandon Drury home run on 5 hits tonight.
Zack Greinke stepped up, went 7 innings, but as you said, the offense wasn't there, so we'll try and figure this thing out tomorrow in the series finale with Shelby Miller on the mound against Colorado's Chad Bettis. Right now, Diamondback Live postgame show is on the air. Russ Ortiz is standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
All right, Steve, indeed he is. And Russ, very quickly, we were talking about showing the matchup between Story and Greinke, but it was the Story matchup against Ziegler that was the one that broke the Diamondbacks back. What'd you think of that at bat very quickly?
Well, it's another missed location, and Story again once again took advantage of that.
All right, we will expose that, as Bob Brenly said, as we'll take a look at his entire night and so much more. Our post-game show begins in a matter of moments. Our coverage of the Diamondbacks continues here on Fox Sports Arizona. Colorado takes game 2. They take the series. We'll get to Bob Brenly also inside the Arizona Diamondbacks clubhouse for post-game reaction in the wake of this 5-2 loss here on this Saturday evening at Chase Field. Back with Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink in a moment.